So the conversation of where you're from starts with an oyster on the coast. We can talk about how great collards grow in Charleston, or okra, or how the tomatoes from Johns Island are the best. And that's apparent because it's good quality produce. But as compared to 50 miles south of here, 50 miles north of here, probably not so much. It's like that, for a very large radius. It's all kind of similar. But with oysters, 25 miles, 5 miles, 3 miles can make a dramatic difference. How far inland, upriver, downriver, out in the ocean, on the flats, in the inlets, all that creates the oyster. So as you go closer to the fresh, brackish water, the oyster is going to have a much different flavor than if you have an inlet oyster, which is going to be very salty, just like the ocean. So the way the oyster is, like they call the rocks here in Otter Island, those are singles that are floating around underwater, tumbling all the time in the tidal creeks. So they develop a deep cup because they're grinding against each other, cutting the shells of the oyster, the tips of the oyster. So the only place for the oyster to grow is out, not long. Now in Capers Inlet, where we get oysters from other friends of ours, they're planted in the pluff mud and they don't move. So they grow up and they grow long. And so this is not very far from where we are, but the two oysters are dramatically different. Similar taste profiles, but different culinary applications. And, frankly, they do taste different. So a lot of the things that we love about the rocks or the singles, and then there's other things that we love about the blades and the clusters. So here you have very different things happening in a very small area. And it's a lot like grapes and wine, like a Chardonnay grape in Burgundy, say Chablis, versus down in the southernmost part where they're not maybe as prolific. They taste different. And of course you take that same Chardonnay grape and you go to California and it tastes dramatically different because the terroir is different. Well, the terroir of the oyster is the water that surrounds it, and where it sits, how it sits, if it's a slaty type oyster, that means that the bottom of the ocean probably is very rocky. And if it's got more of a pond kind of a, not I want to say some flavors are more of fresh water than salt water, and then brackish in between. So you have different levels of salinity, you have different taste profiles, and this variety, in my opinion, tells a great geographical story about what each region, what Charleston tastes like, what Newport, Rhode Island tastes like, what Maine tastes like. And to put those things together in a restaurant is very exciting for me. It's like having a wine list.